And I might say, well, Peter, that's ultimately depressing. Well, brother, sister, wake the fuck up. You ain't Bill Gates, okay? You ain't Steve Jobs, and neither am I. Let's have a healthy dose of reality here. As successful as you think you thought you are, you ain't nothing compared to some of the bigger guys. So calm the fuck down, back the fuck up, and realize ain't nobody gonna remember you.
I've built many startups, most of them have failed, so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're gonna end it right there. You have to, and it doesn't matter if you want to, but there is going to be a day when you have to deal with the idea of death. The reason that we're talking about this today is very simple. I had a conversation with one of my colleagues, friends from yesterday, and this person, well, let's just say he didn't enjoy the topic of death. And I'll tell you the reason why. As we moved into this conversation, it was clear that he was getting more uncomfortable, and that's not hard for me to do. It's easy for me to make all of my friends ridiculously uncomfortable. It's mostly because I don't have a filter, and, well, I just say whatever I want to say. As we began moving into this conversation about death and realizing that, yes, there's going to be a day that you're going to die, it was clear that this individual was not only getting mentally frustrated, mentally uncomfortable, but physically uncomfortable as well. You see, I came to the conclusion later in our conversation that this individual had never actually talked to someone at length or at this depth about death. And so, for someone like me who talks a lot about it, and someone like me who's come to terms with this idea, I wanted to share it with you guys today. So let's talk about death. You see, whether you like it or not, there's going to be a day in which you have to realize that you're going to die. Death is a stark reality. That's it. It's the great equalizer. All will experience. Okay? Now, you can fill in any conspiracies if you'd like, but from where I'm sitting, every single person on the planet will experience death, not only as a reality of your own life, but you will face death as a reality of others' lives that you are merely a participant, maybe even passively so, but you will experience death multiple times throughout your life. Now, as I move closer to 40, guys, death is knocking on the door. Not for me, but death is knocking on the door of colleagues, friends, network people that I have heard about, known, communicated with, talked to, shaken hands, maybe given a hug to. These are people that are dying. Now, studies have shown, and I hope this is not going to be a morbid thing for you guys, but studies have shown that thinking about death more often is actually healthy. It makes for a better, healthy, what the psychologists call a, quote, death awareness. You're aware that your life is limited. You're aware that your life is fleeting. You're aware that time is not forever for you. Also, studies have shown that thinking about death, not overly consistently, but having a healthy understanding of death, increases the intention to die and the intention not to die, but the intention to live well and die well and to begin to prepare. One of the things that in studies that I've read around people who think about death is they're constantly prepared for the imminence of this fact that they're going to die. They take steps in their lives so that they don't have to make their death a burden to others. They exercise more. An increased intention or increased idea around death, or increased awareness around death, helps people diet. They exercise. They go to the doctor more often. People who have a healthy understanding of death, studies have shown, are relatively happier because they live in reality as opposed to living in a fantasy world where you're invincible. And interestingly enough, people who have a healthy understanding and healthy awareness of death tend to care more about others in their plights, in their suffering, as they go through life as well. You see, one of the things that I like, and one of the things that I have extracted from a healthy understanding of death, is something that psychologists have studied too. But out of all the things that I talked about, making you a healthy understanding of death, makes you healthier, have a healthier death awareness, you increase intention to diet, exercise, go to doctors, it makes you live in reality as opposed to fantasy land, it helps you become more empathetic and care about others and their plights of life. The thing that I extract the most about a healthy understanding of death is that studies show that when you have a healthy understanding of your death, the imminence of death, that your goals, listen up, your goals in life become prioritized. Your goals in life get prioritized. You are going to die. Let me remind you. Death is your reality. It's the great equalizer. Everyone is going to experience this in one form, your own death, but a multiplicity of different forms as you deal with those who will pass around you. You see, for me, the fact that a healthy understanding of death focuses me towards my goals is what I have taken from this idea. Number one, there's two things that I want you to prioritize. And if you're taking notes, think about it. This is what I wrote down on my notes. You see, the two goals that get prioritized whenever I think about death. The number one thing is, am I doing what I love? Does it give me purpose? Let me repeat that. Whenever I have a healthy realization of death, that my life is only temporary on this world, and that I want to do the most that I can with the limited time that I have, the first question that I ask is, am I doing what I love, and does it give me purpose? Remember, we talked about this previously, guys. No one is going to be here in 100 years. What they think and what they say about you doesn't matter, because in 100 years, they gonna be dead, you gonna be dead. Are you doing what you love? Are you doing something that gives you purpose? Here's a great quote from the late Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said, "Remembering you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." Ooh, that cuts to the core, my friends. Look at me, guys. Look at me. I got Lambos. I got race cars. I got a custom-built home. I got a custom-built garage. I got 2 perfect kids, a beautiful wife. I have freedom that I've worked hard for through my efforts. It would be easy to look at my life and say, gosh, there's so much to lose. All this stuff that I've earned, all this stuff that I've gained, all this stuff that I have grinded for. Fuck it. I have nothing to lose. I wake up every morning reminding myself that I have nothing to lose. Oh, you did something, offended someone? Too bad. They're going to wake up tomorrow, they're going to forget about it. They will be unoffended tomorrow. Wake up tomorrow, fail, people make fun of you, too bad. Guess what? Tomorrow, they're going to forget about you. They're not going to remember that you failed. They might, but they ain't going to say anything, because yesterday they said all their peace to your face and reminded you how much you suck. Guys, I have nothing to lose in going for it, in doing what I dream of doing, the passions that are in my soul. I have nothing to lose. Let me give you a quote of a guy who had more than I had to lose, Mr. Steve Jobs. He said, "Remembering you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." Get over yourself, okay? Get over yourself. You ain't got nothing to lose. You think that car that you driving is yours? It ain't yours. Let me remind you guys of something that I came to a realization that was so hurtful in my soul that it literally had me pause for a moment in life as I was marinating and thinking about this idea. Let me give it to you plainly. The idea was very simple. I woke up one day and there was a moment in time which I realized that everything that I've created, everything that I've built is going to be owned and operated by someone else. You know, this custom house that I built, guys, this custom multi-million-dollar house that I built, guess what? Someone else is going to live in it. Someone else is going to take a shit in all of my bathrooms. Someone's going to ride in my elevator that I built, that I customized. You know what, this Lamborghini behind, someone's going to buy that, and they're probably going to fuck it up. They're probably going to crash it. Someone's going to buy this race car, and you know what? They're probably going to wreck it. Someone's going to buy that Q7. Someone's going to buy the Mini Cooper. Nothing that I have today is mine. It's on loan. Golly, I wish I could take it with me, but frankly, I'm kind of glad I don't because I got a lot of shit. Steve Jobs said, remembering you're going to die is the best way to know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. What are you holding on to? Number 2, goals get prioritized when you actively think about your imminent death. Number 2 is, what do I want to leave behind? What do I want to leave behind? You know, I have had visions, my friends. I have had visions of my family going through my shit when I'm dead. What could be, you know, you could have been the nicest guy in the world to everyone. Everyone loved you. You had a great funeral. People came to you, saw, they cried. They say, oh man, Jim, he was a great guy. Jim did this. Jim did that. Jim was awesome. And then they're going to go back and they're going to rummage through your shit. They's going to find some shit that's going to make them change their opinion about you. Not that you care because you dead, but think about this. I have had thoughts about this. People going through my shit. You know, obviously I can crack a joke and say, oh, that prawn stash. But guys, I don't have a prawn stash, okay? That's not important to me. But there is a lot of shit that I got around here that, frankly, I don't want my family to go through. What am I going to leave behind? Did I improve the world? Or, let me put it this way. Did I fucking try to change the world? Ain't nobody gonna remember you. You think your life is important. It's not. You say, come on, Peter, come on, that sounds so. No, nobody gonna remember you, brother. Ain't nobody gonna remember you, sister. You're gonna say, no, it's true. Guess what? If you have kids, your kids are gonna remember you. If your kids have kids, your kids, your grandparents, they're kind of gonna remember you. But after your kids have kids, you done. You gone. You never to be seen or heard of again. And I might say, well, Peter, that's ultimately depressing. Well, brother, sister, wake the fuck up. You ain't Bill Gates, okay? You ain't Steve Jobs, and neither am I. Let's have a healthy dose of reality here. As successful as you thought you are, you ain't nothing compared to some of the bigger guys. So calm the fuck down, back the fuck up, and realize ain't nobody gonna remember you. So then what's the thing? Well, for me, I'll tell you what it is for me, guys. What it is for me is, have I impacted people? Have I helped people in this life? I'll give you a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said this. He said, to leave the world a bit better, to know even one life has breathed easier because you lived, this is to have succeeded. Let me say that again. To leave the world a bit better, just a bit better. To know that even one life, just one life, one person, has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. Ralph Waldo Emerson. You see, people ain't going to remember you guys in 100 years. People ain't certainly not going to remember me. I hope they're still using my system, but you know what? 100 years is a long time. You think Facebook's going to be around 100 years? Brother, please. There's going to be better systems. Think about this. Ain't nobody going to remember you. So How are you impacting people today? How are you leaving a legacy of impact not on things, but how are you leaving an impact on people? Understanding the reality of your death allows you to choose mentally. Choose for yourself how you want to pursue this life. Let me say that again. Understanding the reality of your death. Understanding the reality of your death allows you to choose how you want to live. You are going to die. And you're going to be in the same place that I am. Well, maybe not. Depending on whatever your belief structure is. But it don't matter. We is both headed to the final destination, which is dead. How do you want to live the next 50, 60, 70 years if you're lucky? How do you want to live those? What impact do you want to have? What do you want to leave behind? And are you doing what you love? So the question for you guys today, after all of this, remember, understanding the realization that you will die allows you to choose today how you're going to live till that end. So, here's the question. What are you going to pursue today? What are you going to pursue this life? What is something that you have dust on that you need to shake off and relook at, revisit, maybe be re-impassioned about? Maybe it's time, guys. Maybe it's time. This is Peter Saddington, the Bitcoin Lambo. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to subscribe, like, and share with at least one person today that you think might benefit from this message. Thanks. Peace.